All right, now I know I said I wasn't gonna watch Game 4, but the basketball savant in me just couldn't resist. I love basketball way too much. The Dallas Mavericks won by 40 in Game 4 at home. In a must-win game, of course. They came out with the most highest sense of urgency that I've ever seen them play with this season almost, okay? The Boston Celtics, wouldn't say laid down, but they got an ass whooping. It is what it is. They lost that game fair and square. They didn't give it away. They just got outplayed. This is the thing with the Dallas Mavericks that I want to focus on. I think the point of emphasis for them in Game 4 was to, 1, share and spread the ball, 2, play fast, and 3, be as physical as possible as long as the refs allow it. So you have to figure out what your physical tolerance is with the refs and then play off of that. So in the first 2 or 3 minutes, they were very physical. They were actually very dominant inside the paint, second chance points. They just wanted it more. And I want to focus on this guy right here, man, Luka Doncic. You know, we all gave him flack for how he's been playing defense in this series. My thing was this, though. It's not that Luka can't defend. It's his ability to want to defend. So I think for him, it's the effort. If Luka just gives effort, we see stuff like this. Just effort. Defense is all effort. So let's watch Luka Doncic's defensive highlights. He was sliding in puppies yesterday. Caught me by surprise. But just effort, giving a good hand. Being there, guarding Drew Holiday, right? Not giving up on the play. Because, look, usually that play right there, he would have let them get a whole straight line drive and then gave up. But he was still attached to the hip and was playing solid defense. And I think that's the key to the Dallas Mavericks, man. They found something, in my opinion. I don't think this was a fluke because they've been in the past 2 games. Or actually, they've been in all 3 games, really. They just couldn't find a way to figure out how to win. They just weren't playing with enough urgency. They weren't playing enough team basketball. They weren't playing physical enough. They weren't playing fast enough with tempo. They were playing with really good tempo, and they were flying out in scramble situations when Boston gets downhill. I think they did a very good job at closing out 3-point shooters and forcing them off the line because we all know Boston loves to shoot that 3. But now look at this good scramble situation right there. You have Luka running a full sprint. And I think, too, for Luka, what was very huge is he actually took some plays off where he's playing off the ball, where he didn't have to be on the ball predominantly. And I think that's where the key is right there. And the bench players, of course, you know what I'm saying, Dante Exum came in and played phenomenal. I would say that he played amazing in his minutes. Amazing in his minutes. Like look at Luka really playing D, like sliding feet in. Okay, yeah. Now, can Luka keep this up for the next, well, I mean, you got to go one game, you know what I'm saying, one game at a time. Can he play this well in Game 5 defensively? If he does, I have the Dallas Mavericks forcing a Game 6. But if he reverts back to Game 1 through 3 with the effort, GG's in the chat, man. Also, I want to watch some Kyrie Irving highlights. The past 2 games, he's playing really good, really poised, man. This is the Kyrie that we know and we grown to love. I just think for him, he has to get over the hump in Game 5. He has to get one win in Boston. That's it. If he can get that win in Boston, I truly think if they win Game 5, they win the series. Because it's the notion of Kyrie plays terrible in Boston, yada, yada, yada. But once he gets over that hurdle and he actually has a good game in Game 5, if he does, that's going to be scary for the Boston Celtics. Because then you have a confident Kyrie who has finally gotten over that he doesn't play good in Boston thing. Which, I mean, I think he has played good. It's just hard to win there. So if he gets a win there and he plays good, we might be seeing history, ladies and gentlemen. Yet again, Kyrie Irving has been on history, down 3-1 in the finals, never came back and won, right? And then being down 3-0 would be crazy to come back and win that. But also, I think a big part of this game, too, was the role guys were actually hitting a lot of shots, man. They were hitting a lot of shots, a lot of open shots today. But, I mean, in that game. But I also think that just comes with spreading the ball, man. If the role players are able to touch the peel more often, they get more comfortable and familiar with that rock. Like, they don't get iced out for 4 straight possessions. You know what I mean? I think that's huge. But Kyrie's going to work right now, bro, on the best defenders. Like, we're talking about Tatum, Drew, Derek White. Like, he's going to work on these guys, right? Now I want to talk about JB and JT. Jaylen Brown last night, he might have just handed the Finals MVP to Jason Tatum if they do win because of last night's performance. Now, I know Jason Tatum hasn't had a good full series, technically, statistically, percentages and stuff like that, but averages, he's damn near averaging triple-double, right? But last night, Jaylen Brown went 10 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, no steals, no blocks, 3 for 12 from the field. 3 for 12 from the field is not going to cut it. Jason Tatum actually kept him in the game for the longevity of it or for the majority of it. I was thinking keeping the game, but he gave him a fighting chance early when Dallas was throwing him haymakers, and JT didn't have enough. JT at 15, 5, 3, 1 steal, 2 blocks. Drew Holiday, 10 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. So I think this game kind of put Jason Tatum back into the front line of Finals MVP just because of the lack of performance from his counterparts of Jaylen Brown and Drew Holiday. I think Tatum showed up a little bit, but 15 points, it's not like it's a skyrocket of, yeah, now I'm the super favorite. I just think it was like JB, JT, and now it's like a little bit closer. JB can have a great Game 5 and win Finals MVP, absolutely, but I'm saying he left the door even more open now because I said it was signed to deliver after Game 3. JB is the Finals MVP. But then last night, having a performance like that, it leaves the crack open just a little bit for JT to come in and, you know what I'm saying, insert himself into that Finals MVP conversation as the #1 solidified candidate. I want to talk about this, though, too. There's no way this is acceptable. Tim Hardaway Jr. played 12 minutes, and he had 15 points. If he was on the Boston Celtics, he would be tied for the leading scorer for the Boston Celtics in 12 minutes. I know it's garbage time, but that's just mind-boggling to me, man. JT played 27 minutes. JB, 27 minutes. Derek White, 30 minutes, 6 points. Can't have that. Drew Holiday, 28 minutes. Like I said, that's fine. And then you have Sam Hauser is actually a pretty good shooter, man. But he played a lot of garbage time minutes. So we're going to talk about the rotational minutes here. Al Horford came in, did the best he could. They're missing Porzingis a lot. They're missing Porzingis a ton. And if I'm the Boston Celtics, I don't know if I ever put him back in this series because it's the future that matters too. So if I put him back in this series and the KD instance happened where he gets even more hurt, then it's like, damn. Yeah, we might win the finals this year, but then it's like next season coming on when we're trying to build a dynasty, one of our main pieces is hurt. And it's like, you never know what someone's going to look like when they come back from injury. So I don't think you want to take that risk. I think you have enough to get one more game, but it must be in Game 5. You can't lose Game 5. You cannot lose Game 5 because you don't want to go back to Dallas for Game 6, and then you don't want to go to a pick'em game in Game 7 when you have Luka and Kyrie on that side too, because then it's all about just experience and being there. And I don't think the Celtics want to see a Game 5 loss, in my opinion. Okay, let's talk about Dallas for a little bit, man. Derek Lively, by the way, is a rookie, ladies and gentlemen. The Dallas Mavericks have struck gold, absolute gold. He's a freaking rookie. 11 points, 12 rebounds, and a double-double. The scary thing about Derek Lively is this. Luka Doncic is 25. Derek Lively is barely even 19, 20. That tandem right there, and Kyrie, I think Kyrie has a lot more years left too. But that tandem with those three guys is a recipe for success. You have a nice big who can play in the short roll situation, kind of like a Draymond Green, but a taller version, right? He's very tall, see over the floor more. He's actually very comfortable with the short roll decisions, dribbling downhill, kicking to the corners, or making a play at the rim. That is huge as a rookie. Okay, like this is a phenomenal pick. That right there. I'm telling you right there. If they don't win it this year, Lively and Doncic and Kyrie, of course, if they stay together for I think 2 to 3 more years, they're gonna get at least one ring in that year. I just don't see how they don't get better. PJ Washington been struggling a little bit last night, 6 points. Not struggling in terms of shooting percentages, but shooting confidently. He only shot 4 shots last night. Granted, they were blowing him out, but it's like I'm used to seeing the PJ Washington that we were watching in the OKC series, in the Clippers series, in the freaking Minnesota Timberwolves series. I just want to see that be more consistent. And then Daniel Gafford came in and played huge minutes in that second half. No, actually, no. Yeah. Huge minutes in that second half when he had a few blocks. The block on JT where he fell down and got the 4th foul on JT. It was just they out-efforted the Boston Celtics. Looking forward to Game 5. I think the Game 5 adjustments for the Dallas Mavericks is to literally replicate the same thing, but also you have to intensify and double the energy because going into Boston for a Game 5, a closeout game for them to win their 18th title on the anniversary of the 08 team winning, right? It's kind of a lining up here. It's the anniversary of the 08 team's championship. They're going to want to go in there and win that championship, number 18, to beat the Lakers. So the Dallas Mavericks from the gate, soon as tip-off, they have to be as physical as the refs will let them, and they have to play with sense of urgency, play fast, play with pace. For the Boston Celtics, I mean, it's going to be simple for them. Hit shots, hit open shots. You're going to get your shots. You got to make them. Also play with better pace, too. And I think just play with more of a sense of urgency. Don't go out there and play too loose, but, I mean, go out there and play loose, but at the same time, you have to play with a sense of urgency where it's like, this is kind of win and go home for us because we don't want to go back to Dallas for Game 6. We want to end it right here in Boston. We don't want to get on another flight to Dallas. So I think that's an adjustment for them. It was really just urgency, knocking down shots, and taking care of the damn ball. Taking care of the gosh damn ball. taking care of the gosh damn ball. Okay, those are my keys to the victory for both teams. Looking forward to Game 5. Hit that like button if you haven't, and subscribe if you're new. I want to touch on one more subject before we get off of here. Okay, Derek White is a strong candidate to replace Kawhi Leonard on Team USA if Kawhi is unable to play. This is my gripe with this. You have a player on a team who's a supermax player that you're not even talking about, and Jaylen Brown, who can kind of do what Derek White can do and also score at a high level here too. That's kind of a slap in the face if I'm Jaylen Brown. You're looking at my teammate respectfully. Derek White's a great basketball player, but I don't belong on the USA team, but he's looking like a top candidate for replacement. What about Paul George? What about Kyrie Irving, who would be phenomenal in international play? Like, Team USA, we're focusing too much on trying to build an actual team instead of putting the best players of the NBA that are American on the floor, like a dream team, redeem team. You know what I'm saying? Like those teams right there, it was the best players on the floor, right? I mean, regardless that they might have had like one or two guys that are kind of like questionable in terms of the best players, but they were actually really well at their role in terms of like a Michael Redd, who was a freaking killer, by the way. Players like that, right? I just don't see why we're not getting the best players right now. They'll figure out the best players in the world. Forget about there's only one basketball. There's one common goal, a U.S. gold medal. We saw what it looked like when we threw out that Austin Reeves lineup out there. Okay? It's not sweet. We need our juggernauts. Get our best players available. That's my bottom line. Not saying Derek White doesn't fit the description, but I'm saying I thought we can find a player that does fit the description, in my opinion. But that's my spiel. Let me know in the comments below how you guys feel about that. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Like I said, hit the like button again. And sayonara. See you after Game 5. I can't freaking wait. I'm excited. Happy early Father's Day to everybody out there. Peace. Oh, wrong button.